Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2014 Morehouse College Commencement Convocation. I am Dr. Mel Foster, Associate Dean of the Division of Humanities and Social Sciences and Associate Professor of Music at Morehouse College, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 130th Commencement Convocation of Morehouse College. I have just received word that the men of the 2014 graduating class of Morehouse College are ready to step from the Martin Luther King Jr. International Chapel. The front of the line is led by drummers in the African tradition and will move through the gates at Westview Drive. These are some of the same drummers who led your sons through these very same gates when they were freshmen just 4 short years ago. Leading the academic procession is Dr. Tobe Johnson, the most senior faculty member at the college and member of the Morehouse class of 1954. Dr. Johnson is a longtime professor of political science, former chair of the department, and former interim dean of the Division of Humanities and Social Sciences. He has been at the college for more than 50 years. Immediately following the mace bearer is the provost and senior vice president for academic affairs, Dr. Garakai Campbell. Dr. Campbell joined Morehouse this academic year and comes to us from Swarthmore College. Now, as the line continues, you see the senior class marshals, Mr. Alvin Darden, Dean of the senior class, and Dr. Keith Hollingsworth, Associate Dean of the Division of Business Administration and Economics. Directly in front of the class of 2014 are the 2 men who have finished at the top of their class, the valedictorian, Mr. Evan Turnage, and the salutatorian, Mr. Tavon Davis. For 4 years, these students have been known as Men of Morehouse. During the ceremony today, they will be declared Morehouse Men. The men in this class are from 34 states and 8 countries. They come from as far away as Johannesburg, South Africa, and as close as Atlanta, Georgia. The members of this graduating class are over 400 strong. They hold majors in 26 academic disciplines, including biology, philosophy, psychology, accounting, English, business administration, chemistry, physics, sociology, music, political science, art, drama, and mathematics, to name a few. Most members of this class were born in 1992. The average income was just over $30,000. The average cost of a new car was less than $17,000. The cost of a gallon of gas was $1.05. The cost of a first-class stamp was 29 cents. Bill Clinton was the president, and the Washington Redskins beat the Buffalo Bills in Super Bowl 26. Much has changed since then. We now have a 2-term African-American president in Barack Obama. Gas can cost nearly $4 a gallon, and the cost to mail a first-class letter has more than doubled. But one thing remains the same: your care, love, and concern for your son as you nurtured him through his pilgrimage toward excellence and achievement. Standing on the steps of the Kilgore Campus Center are members of the Platform Party, including the college's 11th president, Dr. John Silvanus Wilson Jr., the Board of Trustees, and Secretary Jay Johnson, who is our speaker for the day. When the last student clears the gate on Brown Street during the procession, the sentinels will close the gate behind them, symbolizing the end of an era in the lives of these students. This is the bookend to a tradition that began once again as this group entered the college as the freshman class. Let them enter as they come marching and wearing the crown. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2014 graduating class of Morehouse College.
Good morning. I am Gadikai Campbell, Provost and Senior Vice President of Academic Affairs. Now, our founder's representative, the Reverend Dr. Woodrow Miller Jr., will come for the ringing of the bell, which will be followed by the evocation by Morehouse alumnus, the Reverend Dr. William V. Guy, Morehouse class of 1957, and Pastor Emeritus of the historic Friendship Baptist Church.
Good morning. I am Woodrow Miller Jr., pastor of Harmony Baptist Church in Augusta, Georgia, the second home of the institution that would one day become Morehouse College. The ringing of the bell from the first church, Old Silver Bluffs Springfield Baptist Church in Augusta, where Morehouse was originated, was also the clarion call of our founder, the Reverend William Jefferson White, who convened the first Equal Rights Convention in 1866. That history has cast a long shadow at Morehouse. As the founder's representative, I am honored to declare that the 147th school year of Morehouse College is now closed, and the 130th commencement exercise is now in order.
God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thank you for bringing us to this day, Commencement Day at Morehouse College. We thank you for our college founders and for the teachers and administrators over the generations who have given inspiration through knowledge and by example. We thank you, dear God, for our students, particularly those whose accomplishments these commencement exercises celebrate. We thank you for parents and loved ones, present in body or in spirit, whose encouragement and sacrifice make them a fundamental part of this ceremony. We then give ye thanks also for the alumni and supporters, known and anonymous, of the school, whose generosity has made a college education possible for some young man here today. Lord, we seek your will and strength. We ask your blessings and guidance for this institution and the world it serves. Bless our nation's president. Bless our speaker and Morehouse man, Secretary J. Johnson. Bless Morehouse son and president, John Silvanus Wilson, and with him, the custodians of the Morehouse mission of learning, leading, and serving. On this special day, we pray for the members of the Morehouse class of 2014. Help each one to continue not only to cultivate mind, but to broaden spirit. Give each imagination, not only for achieving success, but for relieving the suffering of others. Make each an advocate, not only for personal fame and fortune, but for the exploited and forgotten. May your blessings be upon each one of us here, O Lord, that through the celebration and challenges evoked on this occasion, we may know your presence more deeply in our lives. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Please stand and remain standing for the presentation of colors, followed by the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner, and lift every voice and sing, led by the world-renowned Morehouse College Glee Club under the direction of Dr. David Morrow, Morehouse College class of 1980, and accompanied by Dr. David Oliver, college organist.
Color guard,
please welcome the 11th president of Morehouse College, a member of the class of 1979, celebrating his 35th reunion today, Dr. John Silvanus Wilson, Jr.
Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Campbell, Mr. Chairman, and other members of the Morehouse College Board of Trustees, members of the Platform Party, distinguished guests, alumni, and friends of this great institution, members of the faculty and staff, family and friends of our graduates, and most especially, the members of the graduating class of 2014. Welcome to the 130th Commencement Convocation. This has been another exceptional year in the history of Morehouse College. We have experienced a number of outstanding achievements this year, and I am pleased to share just a few. The Morehouse College debate team continues its winning tradition, once again winning 2 national debate titles at the Pi Kappa Delta National Comprehensive Tournament. The Morehouse College cross country team won its 5th SIAC title, and Coach Willie Hill was named Coach of the Year. And also selected as the SIAC Coach of the Year was golf coach William Lewis, and that team won many academic awards. This has also been a very good year for competitive scholarships and fellowships for Morehouse. We had a Rhodes Scholar finalist for the first time in several years, our salutatorian, Thavon Davis. Yes, Lord. One of our sophomore students, Rami Blair, was awarded a Leward Morse Scholarship. 2 Morehouse students were selected to the first ever White House All-Stars. They will serve as ambassadors of the White House Initiative on HBCUs. And several other students, many in this graduating class, have been awarded prestigious fellowships and postgraduate fellowships in this year. I'd also like to recognize many of the graduating seniors who have contributed to the advancement of the college in numerous ways. At this time, I would like to thank the 25 graduating seniors who have served in my office as presidential ambassadors. Will all of you stand, please? The 25 presidential ambassadors. I thank you. These outstanding men of Morehouse have assisted me in greeting the guests of the college, both in academic settings and at the Davidson House, and I thank you for your service to Morehouse College. This is a very special occasion for everyone assembled here today, and especially for the young men who have worked so long and so hard to earn their degrees. During the past several years, they have met the academic challenges of the classroom. They have moved successfully along the journey of life towards goals they have set for themselves. And they have earned the privilege of being called Morehouse men. At this time, let me ask another Morehouse man to extend greetings, a member of the class of 1967 and chairman of the Morehouse College Board of Trustees, Mr. Robert C. Davidson, Jr.
Thank you, President Wilson. On behalf of the Morehouse College Board of Trustees, I welcome all of you to the Morehouse College commencement exercise for the class of 2014. To the parents and other family members of the graduates, we thank you for your love, prayers, and sacrifice. To the faculty and staff at Morehouse, for your dedication and service. And to the many friends of Morehouse College, for your support, loyalty, and generosity. Thank you for your help in making this day a reality for these fine young men. who dreamed one day of graduating from a place called Morehouse College. To the class of 2014, I honor you today because of your commitment, hard work, and determination. Each of you decided just a few years ago to accept the challenge to begin the journey to become a Morehouse man. While the journey ends today, the responsibility is endless. From this day forward, great things are expected of you. Much has been sacrificed to help you to get to this day. Your responsibility is to continue to work hard, to be better than average, to press toward a higher standard, to strive every day to ensure that your success validates this sacrifice. Congratulations on your achievement, and may God be with you as you begin the next phase of your lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Davidson. Since its inception, Morehouse College has produced countless alumni whose life's work has impacted the nation and the world. Our pantheon of distinguished alumni range from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to today's commencement speaker, Jay Johnson, and cover over 146 years of service. But I want you to also know that there are many, many stars in our educational firmament. And we have younger alumni, and what they lack in age, they more than make up for in achievement and potential. Alumni like Reggie Davis, class of 1984, and Vern Perry, class of 1994, and Josh Packwood, class of 2007. All three of them are blazing new trails in the area of banking and financial services. We have budding clergymen like Timothy Sloan, class of 1994, Reginald Sharp, class of 2013, and David Magruder, from whom we heard yesterday, class of 2011. They are bringing bold and spiritual uplifting insights into the pulpit and into the communities they serve. Then there are leading educators such as Gene Wade, class of 1992, founder and CEO of University Now. Rashid Davis, class of 1999, founding principal of New York's Pathways in Technology Early College High School. Jim Shelton, Deputy Secretary of Education for this nation, class of 1989. Artesius Miller, founder and CEO of the Utopian Academy and Charter School. These are but a few who are expanding the frontiers of educational opportunity by employing new and emerging technologies that provide effective and affordable educational delivery systems. Finally, consider the field of medicine and STEM, where our young alumni such as Charlie Rouse, class of 1984, and Gladstone Institute's Michael Penn, class of 1994, and Isaac Carey, class of 01, they are on the cutting edge of new diagnostic and treatment protocols. So we shall certainly keep an eye on them all. They represent a new Morehouse in the making. And I strongly believe that they too will make their mark on the world, and in a decade's time or less, you will surely know their names. This year is extra special for me as a member of the class of 1979. My classmates and I, including our speaker today, are celebrating our 35th reunion. We sat right here where you sit 35 years ago, and we are honored to be here with you today as you move into the lifelong ranks, being known as Morehouse men. We also want to recognize a very special alumnus from the class of 1933, who is watching live via web stream, celebrating his 81st reunion. All right? Alumnus Ellis B. Freeman is 103 years old today. He entered Morehouse in the class of 1929. Celebrating their 70th reunion are the members of the class of 1944. Let's give them a hand. Celebrating their 65th reunion are members of the class of 1949. Celebrating their 60th, the class of 1954. Celebrating their 55th, the class of 1959. Now, each year, a very special group of alumni reaches their 50th year milestone as Morehouse men, and they are inducted into the Golden Tigers Society. Celebrating their golden anniversary is the class of 1964. Will the Golden Tigers please stand? That's 50 years. 50 years. Thank you. Celebrating their 45th reunion, the class of 1969. Rise when I call your class. All right. Yeah. Celebrating their 40th reunion are the members of the class of 1974. And my class, the class of 1979, stand with Secretary Johnson and me and put your hands together for our 35th reunion. Robert Mallett. Thank you. The class of 1984 is celebrating their 30th reunion. And the Silver Tigers, who joined the ranks of Morehouse men 25 years ago in 1989. Will you please stand? Silver Tigers. Celebrating their 20th reunion is the class of 1994. Gentlemen, please stand and be recognized. Celebrating their 15th reunion, the class of 1999. Please stand. Celebrating their 10th reunion are members of the class of 2004. Stand if you will. And finally, celebrating their 5th reunion is the class of 2009. Will you stand and be recognized? Thank you. Last night, these reunion classes presented gifts totaling $750,000 to Morehouse College. We thank you for that. Now we invite all remaining Morehouse alumni to stand and be recognized. All Morehouse alumni in the house. Thank you. Members of the faculty and staff, will you please stand and be recognized? Let's give them a hand, graduating class. Thank you. And Miss Maroon and White and Court for 2013-2014, will you please stand? There they are over there. Thank you. We have a very few dedicated faculty members who will be retiring this year. And I just need to say a word about the important work that they do. They are the heartbeat of this institution, and we are grateful for all of the hard work and dedication they show to our students. Let us recognize Dr. Terry Mills, Dean of the Office of Sponsored Programs, retiring with 7 years of service. Let us recognize Dr. Barry Hallen, Professor of Philosophy, retiring after 17 years of service. Hey, Hallen, in philosophy. 17 years of service. Let us recognize Dr. John Handy, Professor of Economics and Interim Chair of Economics, after 22 years. Dr. Errol Archibold, Professor of Biology, retiring after 39 years. Dr. Margaret Weber-Levine, Professor Emeritus in the Department of Psychology, after 42 years, she is retiring. Now we'd like to introduce some of our special guests who are with us this morning, and we ask that they stand and be recognized. I know that my president across the way at the Morehouse School of Medicine, Dr. John Maupin, is here, and I celebrate him. He's stepping down next month. We celebrate Dr. John Maupin. Here he is over here. I believe Miss Loretta Parham, CEO and Director of the Woodruff Library, is here. Let us recognize her. Dr. June Gary Hops, wife of former Morehouse Provost and Senior VP for Academic Affairs, John Hops, is here. Let's recognize her. And my wife, First Lady of Morehouse, Dr. Carol Espy-Wilson, along with my mother and son. Will you all please stand? Thank you. We also have present with us today Mrs. Yvonne King Glosser, wife of the late president of Morehouse, Hugh Morris Glosser. Would you please stand and be recognized? And now, the man who was president when you entered, and my friend, Dr. Robert Michael Franklin, and his First Lady, Cheryl Goffney Franklin. Will you please stand? President Emeritus of Dillard University and Morehouse alumnus in the class of 1948, Dr. Samuel Du Bois Cook, and wife Sylvia Cook. Where are you? Will you please stand? And I know Dr. Lewis Sullivan, Secretary of Health and Human Services, and his wife Ginger Sullivan are here. Will you please stand under the umbrella? Also joining us is Mrs. Evelyn Kent, Program Manager of the Department of Defense HBCU program. Where is Miss Evelyn Kent? Her son is graduating. I know she's here. Miss Ladaris Harris from the Department of Energy, and Miss Annie Watley from the Department of Energy. Will you all stand? There they are over here. At this time, I am privileged to recognize our class salutatorian. This gentleman has maintained an impressive 3.97 cumulative GPA. Allow me to introduce our salutatorian, Mr. Thavon T. Davis. Come on up. Come stand with me, Thavon. Thavon is a business administration major with a concentration in accounting from Nassau, Bahamas. He is son of Chantel and Theodore Davis. He is president of the Morehouse College chapter of the National Association of Black Accountants, treasurer of the Senior Class Council, member of the International Studies Organization, member of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, and presidential ambassadors. Some of his honors include a Brailsford Brazil Award, E.B. Williams Award, Omicron Delta Kappa International Leadership Award, and Phi Beta Kappa Society. After graduation, he plans to begin his career in finance, working in the investment banking division at Goldman Sachs. Savon also has a brother graduating in this class. Theodore Davis is graduating today with a bachelor's in chemistry. This award his way. Thank you, Savon, and congratulations on a job well done. Will the members of Savon's family please stand wherever you are? We can hear you. All right now. This year, Morehouse College is pleased to recognize an accomplished graduating senior as the class valedictorian. He has achieved an impressive cumulative GPA of 4.0. He is deserving of this time-honored acknowledgement. Mr. Evan Turnage is a native of Jackson, Mississippi. He is the son of Ellie and Ellis Turnage. Evan is a physics major. He is a member of Sigma Physics Honor Society, has been a top-ranking scholar for outstanding academic achievement since 2011. He was the faculty choice for Student of the Year in 2013. He also has been a member of Phi Beta Kappa since his junior year. For the last 4 years, Evan has competed as a member of the Honda Campus All-Star Challenge team, and after graduation, Evan will attend Yale Law School, where he will study intellectual property law. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the valedictorian of the class of 2014, Mr. Evan Littleton Turnage. Put that down there.
President Wilson, Secretary Johnson, Chairman Davidson, platform guests, family, friends, and especially the Morehouse graduating class of 2014. Thermodynamics, the study of heat and temperature, and how they relate to work and energy, is a course that every physics major at Morehouse must take. For professors, thermo can be a difficult course to teach, and for students, it can be an even more difficult course to take. The study of thermo hinges upon its 3 laws. The 3 of them have also been summarized into 3 short can't statements. Law number 1, you can't get more energy out of the system than you put into it. Translation, you can't win. Law number 2, any transfer in energy will cause some waste in energy. Unless you're at absolute zero. Translation, you can't break even. And law number 3, you can never even reach the temperature of absolute zero. Translation, you can't get out of the game. After learning these laws, I instantly remembered one of my favorite movies, The Wiz. I remember the scarecrow portrayed by Michael Jackson, who was harassed by a murder of crows. Crows that made him sing a song whose chorus began to reverberate in my head, and you might remember it. You can't win, child. You can't break even, and you can't get out of the game. That chorus was the laws of thermodynamics, and I began to think, perhaps these esoteric rules were more than just a part of physics. Perhaps they had the social implications as well. And perhaps, just as Michael Jackson and those crows, this is how the world viewed us, as just scarecrows stuck on poles without any brains. But men of Morehouse, as my fellow graduate brother Stephen Green reminded us last month, a cosmic phenomenon has recently occurred. A phenomenon that releases us from these laws of thermodynamics. This dazzling spectacle known as the blood moon appeared in the night sky, reddish in hue, August in grandeur. We are calling that celestial sight the Maroon moon. And it has been empowering the men of Morehouse for years. Academically, to accumulate those 120 hours. Physically, to scurry around this campus and complete our clearance forms. And financially, to pay that tuition and to pay that graduation fee. And that Maroon moon has empowered me today as I receive my degree in physics to challenge those old laws of thermodynamics. Class of 2014, neither science in general nor the laws of thermo in particular are capable of telling our complete story. So today I release you from those laws of thermodynamics, and instead I offer to you the psychodynamics of a Morehouse man. Psychodynamic number one, you cannot lose. In fact, you can win. You must win, and you will win. That cosmic maroon moon has been shining on Morehouse College since the days of its founding, inspiring its graduates to perform good deeds, as limitless as the grains of sand on a beach. It is that same maroon moon that will call Morehouse men to action and will prompt the world to say, those statistics about black men must be wrong. That data the media shows us must be wrong. All of those stereotypes must be wrong. Psychodynamic number two, we will do more than just break even. We will expand. We will execute. We will electrify. Not a drop of energy will be wasted. Not an ounce of hope in vain. In a world filled with hatred and despair, the good of a Morehouse man will feed the hungry, will clothe the naked, and will sacrifice for humanity. This order will not prevail because the maroon moon will continue to glow over Morehouse College. And finally, psychodynamic number three, we create our own game. A couple of years ago, a 13-year-old Hispanic student walked up to me and said, Evan, not to be racist, but do you sell drugs or live in the hood? Because all of the black people that I know either sell drugs or live in the hood. In his mind, the game was an either-or existence. But let me tell you, we create our own game. And my brother Corey Hardiman would join me in saying that the men of Morehouse are not dope dealers. No, instead we are. We have been. We forever shall be hope dealers. And brothers, let us confirm together that yes, we are from the hood. A place where boyhood is transformed into manhood. A place where we diminish the likelihood that society's malicious falsehoods will dictate our livelihoods. We live in this brotherhood that is known to the world as Morehouse College, because we did not run around this campus at 5 in the morning chanting songs of brotherhood just to be deemed the unethical. We did not sit in those rows of King Chapel every Thursday just to be named the provincial. And we did not put on those maroon blazers just to be called the stereotypical. Gone are the fatalistic times in which we were told what we could do and how we could do it. Gone are the times in which we lived in a constrained either-or existence. And gone will be the times in which we are told that we can't go to specific basketball games. Because there's something about a Morehouse man, about this class of 2014, that grants us the power to reach that thermodynamically forbidden absolute zero. Absolute zero tolerance for mediocrity, absolute zero room for limitations, and an absolute zero chance to say that my skin tone signifies that I must be this or I must be that. We are the leaders. We are the hope dealers. We are the sons of the maroon moon. We are the Morehouse class of 2014. And according to our laws, we can win. We can do more than just break even, and we can create our own game. Yes, we can, and yes, we will. Thank you.
Thank you, Evan. And congratulations on a job well done. You are an outstanding example of a quintessential Morehouse man, and that speech was so good you made God cry. I'm going to try to make him calm down. I need to pause and recognize our Board of Trustees. Will all the members of the Morehouse College Board of Trustees please stand? Our honored trustees here. Thank you. You know, I just leaned over to Chairman Davidson at the break and I told him, this is my second graduation in the rain. And it's my last one, too. We're going to come up with a plan B and make this work in the future. You can write that down, all right? After you dry yourself off, amen. Will the members of the Evans family please stand and be recognized? There they are, the family of our valedictorian. It is now my distinct honor to introduce to you our commencement speaker this morning. Jay Johnson has had a legal career that could be the subject of a best-selling novel. In fact, his tenure at one of the nation's leading law firms was already the subject of a front-page story in the Wall Street Journal in 1998. After graduating from Morehouse College in 1979, Johnson earned a law degree from the Columbia Law School in 1982. These two experiences laid the groundwork for his illustrious career. He was sworn in on December 23rd, 2013, as the fourth Secretary of Homeland Security. But his career as a civil servant started long before his latest post. He served as Assistant U.S. Attorney in the Southern District of New York, and in 1998, President Bill Clinton appointed him the General Counsel of the Department of Air Force. In 2009, President Barack Obama nominated him as General Counsel of the Department of Defense, where he led more than 10,000 military and civilian lawyers across the department. In that role, he also oversaw the development of the legal aspects of many of the nation's counterterrorism policies and co-authored the 250-page report that paved the way for the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Secretary Johnson, you have given much of your life to serving our great nation in the field of law. And now, as your attentions turn to the safety of this nation, as the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, we salute you as you continue your immeasurable commitment as a public servant. Therefore, by the authority granted me by the Morehouse College Board of Trustees, I confer upon you the honorary Doctor of Laws with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereunto. Ladies and gentlemen, our speaker, a Morehouse man and my classmate, Jay Johnson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, my classmate, and now I can call him Dr. Jay Johnson. Please receive him.
President Wilson, Chairman Davidson, other members of the Board of Trustees, faculty, alumni, members of the Morehouse community, graduates, and most of all, the family members here who prayed and worked hard to see your son, grandson, brother, nephew, or cousin get to this day. First of all, I'm sorry about the weather. Part of my job is to respond to bad weather, but I cannot prevent it. Let me say to my brothers right here in the class of 2014, it's damp, but do not let it dampen your spirits. It's only water. I begin by expressing my great optimism about the future of Morehouse College with my friend and classmate John Wilson as its new leader. I'm so glad I lost the election for senior class president 36 years ago. I lost to the superior candidate, which launched him on his trajectory toward the office he holds today. For the last 36 years, it has been obvious to many that John was destined to one day assume the presidency of Morehouse College. He possesses the right combination of academic experience, administrative experience, fundraising tenacity, leadership instincts, charisma, intelligence, evangelical fervor, faith, character, and love of this school. He is the right man at the right place at the right time for the job. The better candidate won the presidency 36 years ago. I have finally recovered from my landslide loss and have settled for being a member of the president's cabinet. Today, I will not deliver some important announcement or major policy address on Homeland Security or immigration reform. So if there's any member of the press watching or listening for that reason, you are about to be disappointed. I want to talk directly to the Morehouse graduates here, you, my brothers, and offer this very personal statement about what this great institution means to me and the others you see over here with the maroon jackets and the straw hats, and what it should mean to you for the rest of your life. As a student and now a graduate of Morehouse College, you have chosen to travel the same road that I, John, Spike, Martin, Robert, Charles, Jerome, James, Joel, Greg, Raynard, Train, Rodney, and the other members of the class of 1979 who are here, traveled the day we left this institution 35 years ago. This school and this place mean everything to us. We owe it much, far more than the value of a four-year college education. Morehouse is part of us, and it is a large part of what we have become today. In August 1975, I arrived here a boy. In May 1979, I left here a man with a mission. In August 1975, I arrived here a shy kid who did not want to be the center of attention. I could never have imagined speaking in front of a large audience like this. I was a poor student in high school. I was not a straight 4.0 student. In my house, during my high school years, a C was a reason to celebrate. In my entire life, the only time I ever heard my mother utter a four-letter word was when she opened my report card one afternoon and looked at my grades. In fact, you are looking at someone who never really successfully got beyond 10th grade math. I took 9th grade math in 9th grade and flunked. Retook 9th grade math in 10th grade. Took 10th grade math in 11th grade. Took 11th grade math in 12th grade and flunked the New York State Regents exam for the 11th grade course. My high school guidance counselor told my mother she should think about two-year college for her son. I was tuned out and didn't care. My mother knew I could do better. She was distraught. But my father, in his quiet and calm wisdom, prodded me to think about Morehouse College. By good fortune, I visited Morehouse homecoming weekend. I could feel the energy and excitement on this campus. I saw the proud young black man who walked this campus. I was impressed at the sight and sound of several hundred black men singing in unison about pledging their life to this institution and ties more brotherly. I got a look at the ladies across the street. Though I had never been here before in my life, something about this place was calling me. By the time I arrived here in 1975, however, I was still in a fog. I still hadn't caught fire. Freshman week, I recall filling out an index card in Robert Hall for some basic personal information. I got to the line that asked major and did not even know what to put down. I did not even know what I was interested in studying here. I looked at my father, who said, for lack of an obvious choice, just put down political science. I spent freshman year here pretty much as I had spent my high school years, asleep academically. My GPA, my first year, was 1.8. 1.8 both semesters. But something was stirring inside. I listened to the sermons and the speeches. I sat in assembly on Tuesdays and chapel on Thursdays. I realized I was in a special place, a kingdom. I became proud of who I was and what I was about to become. But for those of us who were freshmen here in 1975, something was missing. The ambition, the energy, and the talent was here, but the great struggles of the civil rights movement, the marches, the sit-ins, the freedom rides, were largely over. We in the class of 1979 were, quite literally, rebels without a cause. We looked for anything about which to protest or march. Many of us eagerly accepted Marty's invitations to Mrs. King's home on Sunset Avenue to plan marches for the state holiday on Dr. King's birthday. The most frequent objects of our protests, however, were food. The food at Morehouse College in 1970s was terrible. To those graduating today, I assure you it was worse then. We were served in green trays with 5 compartments in them, the size of TV dinners, no seconds. By 9 o'clock every evening, I was hungry again and had to go to Church's Chicken. By our senior year, Dr. Gloucester was glad to see the class of 1979 leave his school, but not without one more fight. Dr. Gloucester had invited a civil rights leader of national stature to be our commencement speaker. We told Dr. Gloucester his choice was not acceptable. To us, the speaker was too mainstream, and I now realize I'm out on a limb with John. So in 1979, our baccalaureate speaker was Louis Farrakhan, and our commencement speaker was Joshua Nkomo, the leader of the revolutionary movement in Zimbabwe. For me, the 4 years was transformational. I told you my freshman year GPA was 1.8. By sophomore year, something had awakened within me. I found who I was here. I became comfortable in my own skin and proud of my own skin color. I recall early the fall semester of my sophomore year, sitting in room 217 of what was then Thurman Hall, now LLC, and realizing there was nothing left for me to do but study. I wanted to go to law school and be prepared to answer a call to service. My GPA that fall semester went from 1.8 to 3.0. Spring semester, sophomore year, 3.5. Fall semester, junior year, 4.0. Spring semester, junior year, 4.0. Fall semester, senior year, 4.0, and spring semester, senior year, 4.0. I left Morehouse College on fire, went through Columbia Law School with decent grades, and received a job offer from almost every Wall Street law firm I interviewed with. I am proud of my private sector achievements. I am proud to have been the first African-American partner at one of the most profitable law firms in the United States. I am proud to be a fellow in the prestigious American College of Trial Lawyers. But what I learned on this campus was that something even more is expected of a Morehouse man. This is why on November 22nd, 2006, when another black man with an unusual first name called me to ask for my support for his long-shot presidential campaign, I knew how to answer that call. With the education I received here, an education that cannot be obtained anywhere in the Ivy Leagues, I knew then that I was being asked to participate in history. Dr. Mays taught all of us we only have a moment, but there is eternity in it. So I recognized on November 22nd, 2006, that I had to make the momentous choice. Enter the word momentous in any thesaurus, and you will get the words decisive, important, significant, vital, big, crucial, historic, earth-shattering, all the things expected of a Morehouse man. This is why on November 22nd, 2006, despite the long odds associated with his candidacy, I told Senator Obama, "Barack, if you run, I am with you." So I stand before you as a former C&D student, but who, by virtue of the education and inspiration I received at this place, is today a member of President Barack Obama's cabinet, the head of a government agency of 240,000 people, and the guardian of this nation's Homeland Security. Today, you are hereby crowned a shining black prince, anointed with the title Morehouse Man, propelled by the pride of your family, entrusted with the legacy of the great Morehouse men who precede you, and saddled with a load of expectations. Being a Morehouse man means more than acquiring a good job, good manners, and a good suit. While others fear the darkness, you must light the candle. While others wallow in bigotry, intolerance, or homophobia, you must provide enlightenment. When others are content to deliver courage by proxy, you must step to the front of the line. Our society continues to need the power of your leadership and the power of your example. Over the last 4 years, each time you sang "Dear Old Morehouse," you pledged your life to this institution and its ideals in all things that you do, whether it's to lead a nonviolent social movement, help a brother become president, serve in his cabinet, serve in the military, preach the word of God, teach for America, teach Sunday school, serve as a substance abuse advisor, serve as your brother's keeper, or simply show someone where he's traveling wrong. One more thing. You leave Morehouse today, but you do not leave it behind. Today is your last day at Morehouse, but it's your first day that you can start to give back. The future of this school depends on its alumni. I know I speak for every alumnus at this event when I say we look forward to seeing your names next to ours on the list of alumni donors. Large or small, whatever you are capable of doing. To those who become Morehouse men, much is required. Thank you.
Let's give Secretary Johnson another hand for that wonderful speech.